No, I think I had a outro, but I don't have a proper intro.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry. Okay. Let's see. Like, if it was like comic book related, I'd say welcome to this issue of of Pastime Paradise. But what else is like? Because I don't want to say episode. Episode sounds so this edition. Let's just say edition. Edition sounds good. Welcome all you Pastime Paradise people. Welcome to this edition of the Pastime Paradise podcast. My name is Aldrine Guerrero.
I'm Kahai Fergan.
And I'm Aaron Nakamura.
So once again, we'll be bringing you guys Pastime and Paradise, or from Paradise. We are from the island of Kauai. We're talking about our pastimes. Welcome to this edition of the Pastime Paradise podcast. What's up, guys? How's it going?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
It's like, I think it might be a little bit weird because it's like we still don't know what to necessarily call the audience or whoever's listening to this.
Yeah, I'm just trying some stuff out. I'm just throwing some stuff into the
Workshopping.
wall, seeing what sticks. Yeah. Maybe I'm calling them Pastime Paradise people today, and then next week we're calling them little peepees.
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know, man.
We don't know what will stick, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah. So we're just trying stuff out. Maybe by like episode 20 we'll get it.
do you think that like it's like episode 100, it's like we still don't know what to call people? So it's like
maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's maybe that'll be our thing where we don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh wait, sorry. There's one thing that I forgot to mention. We are the three-time podcast award winners. Not for this podcast.
Not for this podcast.
But we are three-time Ukulele Podcast award-winning guys doing this podcast. So maybe we can get this podcast. Maybe we can sprinkle a little bit of ukulele in there, and then this one will become an ukulele podcast as well. Like it considered for an ukulele podcast award, perhaps. 3 times, baby. How you feel?
Can you explain that for people who don't know the backstory?
Oh, okay, so we had an ukulele podcast called the Ukulele Underground Podcast, and for 3 years in a row now, with we've won the Ukies, which is hosted over in the UK by Anarchy in the UK. So we won that 3 times, guys. So what's going on? Congratulations, gentlemen. How you feel? Kahai, how do you feel, bro?
Yeah, it's like when you said that, I was thinking like it's in my head, that song, right? It's like, how can this happen to me? I made a mistake. Like, how is this happening again? When you texted us and I said like, no way, that has to be. It's like, I was thinking too, do you think there's people who win awards or win something and then they're like, there has to be like a mistake, or maybe you guys want to do like a recount, or are you sure like is like legit, or
This is one of those rare times that the winners demand a recount.
yeah. It's like this doesn't seem right. Yeah.
Okay, but we won. It was a three-peat. And someone's voting for us. Like a bit, I guess a lot of someone's are voting for us if we're winning. And so shout out to all those people who voted for us. Mahalo, thank you so much for your support. Hopefully you support this podcast as much as you supported our old podcast.
It's like I wanna ask people like that. I think like in particular listen to our old podcast, probably voted for us, and will probably listen to this podcast, right? And be like, Chris, did you buy bot accounts? Did you vote with bot accounts?
Because you should keep doing that.
Yeah. It was actually, I heard about it first from Chris. Chris texted me.
Yeah, so shout out Chris Lanson, shout out.
Yeah. We're talking about I think, and all of us did specifically think of one Chris, right? Like Chris Lanson. But then also like saying that there's other Chris's too who used to listen to our podcast that we know specifically. So could have been.
It's Chris and Sue, Chris.
Yeah. That's I was thinking that too. One of you,
two
Chris's.
Chris's that listen to us.
Okay, how many bot accounts did Chris get, and how many iPhones did each of you have to type in your vote for the Ukies?
You just need one VPN, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, thank you so much for all the people who voted for us. It's surreal because there's some great ukulele podcasts out there, including but not limited to James Hill's ukulele podcast. I don't know how often he does it, but I've listened to an episode of that and it's very informative. That it makes us look like like the funnies in a newspaper, and he's the actual news.
The newspaper part.
Yeah, he's actually news in the newspaper, and we're the comic books, the comic strips in that, and people vote for the comic strips, which is insane. So shout out to all the people who voted for us. But yeah, I don't want to spend too long on talking about our old podcast. Let's talk about the new podcast, guys. What's new in Pastime Paradise? What do you guys been up to lately? So any new hobbies that you guys are into?
Oh, interesting. Usually I answer, I guess, first or second. But Aaron, do you have anything you want to start off?
Not really. I know in the past podcasts I was talking about my meditation routine. I'm trying to get back into it again. At least doing a morning meditation every morning. So I've been semi-consistent there,
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I bring it up only because it is the new year. So when we're recording this anyway, it's the start of the new year. So I was wondering if you guys developed any new kind of pastimes that would double up as a New Year's resolution.
Yeah, so pretty much that for me, and then also trying to I really need to get back into running and working out. So I've been slowly incorporating the working out.
Oh, good.
In there, but yeah, kind of recently I was really looking into getting exercise bands. So I went down the rabbit hole on exercise bands, and then I realized that I could kind of do everything that I want to do with the stuff that I have. So yeah, I did a deep dive on what's the best exercise bands to get for quality and longevity of the band and of myself, and then I just yesterday I made the realization that I actually don't need part of it is you want it because you did so much research, you want to buy the stuff, but I actually don't need to buy the stuff, and so I've been wrestling with that.
That's pretty good because some people when they go down the rabbit hole, they convince themselves that they need things. But
that's the whole point of going down the rabbit hole,
right?
Is to convince yourself that you need this stuff.
You got some great mental strength, man.
I still want it though.
Yeah.
I did enough research to be this is the best thing, and for the price, the quality is the best. And it looks really cool, and I want to have it in my house.
What's an example of something that you would get but you don't need?
You could just get exercise bands from anywhere. I was looking, they have those tube bands from Ross. You could just do that and it serve the same purpose. Some of them have handles and stuff, so yeah, you could do that pretty easily. And in fact, I have a couple of those already. But I was looking into it, and I kind of want to get a bar. So if you get loop exercise bands and a bar, you can do pretty much a lot of the stuff that you would do in a real gym with a weight bar.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, and you could, exercise bands will never really replace weights, but they will do things that weights can't do as well. But I do have dumbbells here, and I have a pull-up bar, and I have anchor points. So I have Olympic rings, that I can attach to the pull-up bar. So like a lot of the stuff that I can do, because I'm only concerned about general fitness, not like working specific groups of muscles. I just want overall fitness. And so yeah, I realized like I am thinking way too much about this. Yeah.
It's good that, or I actually wanted to ask you which of the bands does it seem like has the best longevity? Because I bought something for archery where it's like the bow handle, just a handle, and you put the exercise bands into the handle and you can pull it back, and then that simulates like pulling back the string, right? And so it's just to practice like your form to make sure that when you pull back the string, your arms are aligned, and then you're using the right muscles to pull back the string.
Yeah.
But the bands that came with it, I think they're okay, but I feel like exercise bands and rubbers like that, they like dry out or they get like crusty in Hawaii, and then they end up like just snapping, or like or like they even like melt too. So I think I threw away like a few of those. But you mentioned like a Loop brand, is that like good?
Yeah, so it's just like a lot of those looped exercise bands, they market it for pull-up assistance, but you can use them for like a lot of other different things too. You can buy the Amazon Basics one and it's fine, but it probably won't last super long. And I guess the composition of the band itself depends. Like you can kind of skimp on the types of materials that the band is made out of and get it for cheaper, but then it won't last long, and also like the pull is not as smooth, or
does the resistance go down as time?
Yeah, that and just like because you're starting off the pull where it's not taut, and then the more that you stretch it, it gets more and more taut, and so like the smoothness through that pull is on the better bands, it's like much smoother, and so like if you're doing exercises with it, like you kind of want that. You don't want it to be like super resistant at the beginning and then like feel kind of weird, like really easy then kind of a little bit harder, So you want a smooth pull all the way through the motion. And so yeah, it tends to be that where it's like the more expensive that you go, then the better the feeling and the resistance, like the consistency of the resistance is.
Yeah.
But then there's also like that, it's like the same thing where you get to that top end, and the more expensive the band is, it could just be hype, right, around the brand. And so you'll reach a certain point in quality, and then the more expensive that you go from there, it's just like diminishing returns. So
I see.
Yeah,
it's this brand,
like with anything.
Yeah.
So for this New Year's, like I got into some a few new things in accordance to a New Year's resolution. Like I talked about I gave up like One Piece trading card game, like an episode or two back, right? But in place of that, I'm like, okay, if I'm not gonna be doing that anymore, I'm gonna have to like focus on something else, and I really haven't focused on like embarrassingly my music, like in a long time. So something that I got into recently is focusing on my sound and my gear, and practicing a little bit more. Like I've been writing a lot, lately in the past like month, 2 months. Like I've been like composing, and I've been like looking at like live kind of gear and stuff. So I'm in the process of building a new pedal board for myself, and I gave up using pedals like for live shows or just in general, because at one point there was I don't know, I was like some young kid with lots of things to to kind of prove, and like a chip on my shoulder and stuff, but and I used to use a lot of pedals back in the day. For those people that don't know, like pedals for music like shape or reshape the sound of your instruments. So Like a guitar can sound distorted, or it can have like reverberation, or can have like echoes, or or any kind of effects. So basically those pedals create those kind of effects. I haven't used one of those in like, it must have been a decade, because back when I was like a young up and comer like ukulele player, I was using some. I was very experimental, but then I don't know, I had this like, I was kind of self-conscious that like that people thought that like, oh, he's only good, or it only sounds good because he has all these things kind of running through his ukulele and is giving it like echoes and whatever, and I didn't want to hide behind that. So I stripped everything so that like I could kind of showcase like my musicianship of like what I can do with the instrument without having to without the use of pedals and effects and stuff. It's just a raw sound of my instrument. But now that I'm an older musician, I just don't care anymore. Like I don't have that same chip, and I have nothing left to prove. So I kind of want to go back to experimenting, and it's actually kind of unlocked a lot of like the creative stuff that I've wanted to do for like the longest time, but I didn't really quite know how to express myself in that way. So it's been super fun, like exploring my ukulele and my music again. So that's one of the big things that I've started doing in my New Year's resolution, is to invest more in myself and in my music. The other thing, Kahai, mangas. Got back into mangas, baby.
Yeah.
I cleaned up my office so that like I can display my mangas and have like a nice little library of. For those of you guys who don't know, mangas are like Japanese comic books. I like One Piece and Dragon Ball and stuff, and I dug out a lot of like my older mangas that was in storage, and now I want to display them, and I want to have a cool little library of comic books. It's really cool.
Yeah,
so it's another thing I've been to.
In a future episode, we might talk about like things that we're like really obsessed with, and I thought about it, and I think reading manga might be like one of my longest, I don't know, quote unquote hobbies. I thought about it, and I think I've been doing it since 4th or 5th grade.
Wow.
So at this point, it might be like 20 or 21 years.
How big is your collection, Guy?
I don't really collect physical anymore, but at one point I did have quite a lot, and now it's all in storage. And something that like I feel like I don't like, I put it into our storage, and I know my mom said like some of it got wet, so it might not be good anymore. But I think something that you would appreciate, Aldrine, is like I had some original Shonen Jumps, like not Japanese Shonen Jumps.
Yeah.
Like the collective Shonen Jumps.
Yep.
And I think I started off with the issue with the first release of Naruto.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think I looked online, and like they don't even really have that like online. Like people didn't like really keep those, right? So it's like, oh man, that if anything from my actual physical manga collection like survived, I would hope it's like some of those collections, right?
Older Shonen Jumps. Yeah. I used to collect Shonen Jumps as well, and like a lot of my manga, just like you, like it got wet and it got like destroyed. So something that I'm doing now is recollecting a lot of like the older stuff that I used to own, because one of my favorite series is the original Dragon Ball, like Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z or GT or anything like that, but like the original Dragon Ball. And there's only 16 volumes of that. I know I'm saying only as if like that's a little bit, but that's nothing compared to say like One Piece with like 100 something volumes, but I've read that whole series at least like, I don't know, like 10 times. I'm in the double digits, I'm sure, like of reading that series over and over and over, like the entire series. And that one got wet in storage, and I was super duper sad. So for my birthday this past September, I'm like, you know what? I feel like reading that series again. And when I went to go look, it got wet. So I went to go order it. But I have no idea, because I haven't bought manga in must have been a decade, or at least a decade. or maybe a decade and a half. I haven't bought manga, and and I went on eBay. I'm like, okay, because I'm not gonna find, or nor do I want like a brand new whatever like set of Dragon Ball mangas, but I ordered one and it was fake, dude. I got a. I didn't realize people faked mangas. Mangas are like $10 a volume. You know how much profit are you getting from faking mangas, because you're still spending money like on the paper and like, printing
print
it and
out.
stuff. Exactly, like
It's a counterfeit.
Why would you counterfeit manga? What are the overheads? You know?
Yeah.
I didn't understand, and I was so like. I didn't know how to feel. I felt mad, of course, because like I bought like a fake product, but at the same time I just couldn't help but laugh at like the fact that somebody went through all the trouble to like fake this and sell it to somebody, you know. But yeah, I managed to find like real ones, and it's like night and day, the difference between the real manga and the fake one. But now I'm like stuck with this like set of fake mangas that I don't know what to do with.
What are some of the telltale signs?
Oh, just the quality of the paper alone, because the paper on mangas are relatively on the thicker side. And the one that on the fake one, it's like flipping through like the yellow pages. You know, for those of you folks who remember like phone books, it's kind of like that thin.
Yeah.
So that's like a huge tell sign that that is fake. And you know, just the quality and the ink is not as dark. There's like borders, whereas like the original manga like bleeds kind of through the edges, which creates a really cool effect, you know, like when you stack them together.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot. There's a big difference between the fake one and immediately when I
So
open it, I'm
because
like,
the pages are so thin, was the entire book thin?
Yes, smaller. It was smaller.
So it's like obvious, like as soon as you opened it up.
Right. Like I'm like, I've held mangas like since I was just like Kahai. I was like in middle school, you know? Like and this is not it.
Yeah. At the same time, like the first time I watched Naruto was because a friend had DVDs of Naruto that maybe weren't officially licensed, you know. And there was a place on Oahu where you could buy in bulk a lot of those anime. And so I remember one of the first anime I bought, Bleach.
Yeah.
And like if
you can say Kai, they're not in business anymore, so you can name them. Toys and Joys.
Yeah.
It's okay. Because I think if you say the name, more people will be like, oh, I used to go to that place.
Yeah. And it's like you get a DVD case and you open it up and it's like, this doesn't look like a real DVD from a company, you know, whoever gets this. So, and then you watch it, and I think at the time I didn't know any different of like translators or whatever. But then the subtitles I think on that are yellow too, so it's like that's not usually they use white subtitles for official translations. But I mean, some of that stuff, like I read several series online, and it's like there's kind of a rule online where people will fan translate manga, and they'll put it out for free. They just do it because they want to, and they like the series, right? But then they'll do it until a company picks it up and says, okay, we're releasing an official release. And a lot of these people who fan translate to, they tell people like, hey, I want you to support the author, so go buy the original, even if it's in Japanese, go buy the original Japanese work, you know, and you can still read mine. But like some of the fan translations that I've read, it's like, this is so good, and then I get the official translation and it's like, this isn't as good as the fan translation. What are you guys doing? It's like, this fan translation is so passionate. Like there's some where you know, they put in like historical like documentation at the end of like, this is what they're referencing and this is what they're talking about.
It's pretty
like,
cool.
Yeah, and it's like, oh my gosh, they put in so much work, and then you read the official translation and it's like, they didn't even get the name right. It's like, oh man. So it's like, I know some, I'm like, I get the series and I try and support the actual person who makes it, but then at the same time I'm like, I don't know, I kind of prefer, even though it's a quote-unquote unofficial, it's like I kind of like this one.
Dude, I remember going and getting like one of those fake DVDs that you were talking about. And I was into this series called Prince of Tennis, and the school that they're from is it's called Seishun, and I remember the translation. They translated, instead of just saying Seishun, because that's the school's name, like it's just that. It would translate to like Young Garden or whatever, like the actual translation for Seishun is. So, and every time like they said the name of the of the school, it would be that. So it was almost like somebody just like put it on Google Translate or whatever the equivalent of Google Translate was back in the day, and they just ran off with it, and it was obviously made like overseas somewhere, and not even like somebody who speaks English, because the sentence structure on the translations were pretty bad.
Like they take the literal translation, right?
Yeah,
like they're doing word for word, and it's like, this is a backward sentence. Like, why would you write it out like this? But yeah.
I do kind of miss it though, Kahai. There's just something, like that to those fake DVDs that the real ones just can't replicate,
Yeah.
And there's a certain taboo to it, like of watching it that way. They're like, ooh, I'm doing something naughty.
Man, I
and then some episodes don't play well in your DVD player, or you have to get the international version DVD player.
Yep. Those are the days.
Yeah, I really gotta give it up to like people who do that, like translate for free, or do whatever, or even like I don't know, it's kind of bad, like people who put on the subtitles for like anime and stuff. And because like I read some translations, and then they're like, oh, English isn't my first language, but I saw how much people wanted to read it in English. So I actually took the Spanish translation of this manga, and I'm translating it to English for you guys. And it's just like, that's why it kind of sucks when like, companies are like, oh, you can't start waving their fingers. Is like, come on, guys, they love this thing, like they really,
it's like
just
a passion project.
Yeah, they're getting nothing out of this, like they're just doing it.
Can I do a weird flex real quick?
Okay.
So speaking of translations, back in the day, I used to have like a Naruto podcast, right? So we were covering the Japanese chapters as they were coming out at the time, and of course there was like scanlations that people were doing that you're talking about, people online like who just make fan translations, because at the time the English version of Naruto was like maybe a year behind, the Japanese manga. And since we were covering the Japanese manga, and the people who were doing the podcast with me were like, one of them were like a Japanese major, and a bunch of them like, a bunch of the others like just spoke Japanese, and we were reading it. And do you remember that character Suigetsu?
Suigetsu.
Yeah, it's remember when Sasuke made Taka, and then there was like Suigetsu, there was the really strong guy, and then the healer. You remember?
Maybe.
So anyway, so the Suigetsu, in the fan translation, in English translation, he was first referred to as Mizugetsu, because the kanji was that of of water, right? And my friends were like, when they read the chapter, they're like, I don't think that's right. Like I think it's supposed to be pronounced as Suigetsu, because that's what you would say, like as a name, rather than Mizu's more like water that you drink, or whatever the reasoning
like a
was.
literal,
yeah. So but the scanlation, like in people who and they were really good. Like the people who were doing the Naruto translations back in the day, they were really good. But like my friends caught that, and when we did the podcast, we did it, and then when the official one came out, it was Suigetsu, and we called it a win. I remember like, yes, we're better than that. We're better than those guys. It was a weird flex at the time, but it was like, yes, see,
we're better than the non-official translators.
We're nerdier than you.
Yeah, nerdier than the people doing it as a passion project.
Yeah, so it was, that's my weird translation flex guy.
It's like still telling that like scanlation is a passion thing. Because even now, right? Even now that manga and anime has gotten popular, and now like maybe you wait a week for the official translation for like things that are being released like by Shonen Jump or whatever, right? But then even though it's like, oh, it doesn't take that long to do an official translation, the scanlation still comes out earlier. So that means that they bought the Japanese version.
Yeah.
And it's not just like you buy the Japanese version, you put it on a Xerox machine or like a photocopier, you scan it in.
It's like cleaned up. It's cleaned up.
Yeah. Or you have to take apart the book to make it flat. If not, because I'm sure you've read where
Yeah, of course.
Like there's the curve towards the middle or towards the center.
It gets darker, right? There's like lines. You can tell where obviously like the scanner like, or sometimes the pages are like slightly crooked, so it's like you can see the border or back.
Yep.
It's like, oh my gosh. But
If you look at the raws, right? Like the raw.
yeah. And it's like oh my gosh, yeah, it's so much work. So it's like I really appreciate like all the people who really do it as, just as fans and just because they love it. I think I told Aaron before, it's like if I was the people working at these companies that are putting out the official, it's like, why, like, let's just hire them, right? Like or not even like let them do it on the side, and we'll just take their translation and be like, okay, well, maybe we'll pay you like a little bit, but then we'll take it and then we'll make it into the official release too, because it's like, goddamn, these things are so
We'll put
good.
your name in the book, like that would be more than money to them, right?
Yeah.
Or that's just like some trap where like, okay, hey, you guys, we would like to hire you, whoever you are that pirated these copies early before they came out and translated them, and then people are like, oh yeah, that was me. Like, oh, got you. Because it's technically illegal, right? Like it didn't even hit the store shelves yet, like in Japan, but people would get it and scan and translate it and stuff. But that's how you get them, guys. You catch them.
That's like the government hiring hackers. Like, hey, come over and hack for good. Lame.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, shout out to the people doing those like scanlations, man. That is risky and hard work for like very little,
If anything.
if any money coming in. It's insane. So, but that's how I've been getting my One Piece manga fix every week, baby.
Yeah. You're not subscribed to, what is it, Jump Plus or Jump Weekly or whatever.
And even that comes out on Sundays.
Yeah.
The pirated version comes out like on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Way before then. And it's just like, oh. And like you said, sometimes the scanlation translations are better.
Because even in Japanese too, right? Like what you're saying, like that name, the fact that it's like Mizugetsu, it's like, even though it's pronounced Suigetsu, it's like a lot of stuff like that. There's double meanings, so they might be pronounced another way, but their name is something because they're trying to do like, oh, this is a nod to this other thing, or we're kind of, it's a Japanese wordplay too. And so it's like you read the translation, the official translation, and then it's like, they just named him Ben. They didn't even like try to make it, it's like they just gave him like a normal name. They didn't even try to make it any better. It's like, you translators out there, you scanlators, keep doing what you do. Just know you're appreciated.
The Lord's work.
Yeah.
Do the Lord's work. But yeah, that's like a hobby that I restarted. You know what I mean? Like two hobbies, because I used to, be into like doing pedal stuff and then like doing manga, but I enjoy those too. So I think just this year, I kind of want to like find myself. I don't know if I'm going through some weird like midlife crisis, but like I do want to
do the
like,
things that I did when I was young.
But yeah, it's that like I've restarted those, and they're really bringing me joy because I'm discovering my love for ukulele and just live music in general, like, you know, or live ukulele playing. I recently went to a Jake Shimabukuro show. If for those people who don't know, he's like the best in the world, you know. And I know people like would say one of the best in the world, but I think 90% of people would agree that he's the best in the world.
Yeah.
I went to a show and kept thinking like, why does my uke not sound like that? You know, like I'm also a professional ukulele player, like, and I'm also an ukulele master, or what people would consider like an ukulele master. Like, how come my uke doesn't sound like that? And for most people, they were like, oh, I mean, what do you mean? It sounds good. Like, it sounds good, but it doesn't sound great. Like, I want to be one of the greats, you know? So when you hear like Jake's tone, you're just like, that sounds like $1 million. It's probably $1 million to get the tone that he's getting, you know? But I want to at least try a little bit harder with what what I sound like. So that's kind of what kickstarted that. In the manga thing, I just wanted to read Dragon Ball again, but it led me down this path of like acquiring some of the mangas that I own, and some mangas that I want to own, like One Piece. Like, I want the entire collection just because I love that series so much. I want like all the manga in its and I'm currently going through One Piece right now.
You mentioned like you read One Piece, you read like a translation of One Piece.
Yeah, so I'm caught up.
Was One Piece like the only online manga you're reading?
Yeah, I never bought like the physical like Viz manga of One Piece when they were coming out and stuff. So, and by the time like I got into One Piece, because I wasn't like a day one One Piece guy. I was like a Naruto, Shaman King, Dragon Ball guy. And I don't know, like One Piece didn't really pick up until like later on, you know, because I just always kind of dismissed it as like this silly pirate manga, and it is, you know, but the story got deeper and deeper, and it got insanely deep. So I got super into it once it kind of picked up. But by that time, it's like it was volume like 30 something, you know. So
what is the current chapter? What is the number? I don't even know.
I think like 11 something.
Yeah,
like 1,100 something. I don't know the exact number.
Yeah,
but they're in Elbath. For spoilers, for those of you guys who go read One Piece or watch One Piece, they're in Elbath. They just, I believe, finished the flashback, like the long flashback, but worth it because they talked about God Valley and stuff. You know, pretty cool.
Yeah, and then that is the thing where it's like people talk about watching One Piece, right?
Yeah. And that's crazy.
Yeah, and then they're like, okay, don't worry. You know, it's like for Western TV shows, like some people might be like, oh, if you just make it through season 1, it'll really pick up and it's really good. For One Piece, some of it is like, okay, watch the first 100 episodes, then skip the next 200, and then you can watch like the next 300 or whatever. Or there's recuts where they make it faster and stuff. And people are like, you mean there's like that much episodes of One Piece? But the thing about One Piece and anime episodes too is it's not even the longest, or it doesn't have the most episodes either. There are longer running and anime with more episodes too. So it's like it's long. It definitely has a lot, but it's not an outlier for anime itself. Yeah.
So how about Kahai? How about you, man? What I mean, I've passionately talked about like what I got into recently, but how about you? What are your New Year's resolutions, and what's a hobby that you've gotten into or restarted?
Yeah, I feel like isn't New Year's like the time where people get into new hobbies? But then I also feel like for me, the holidays are pretty busy with like doing stuff with family and getting everything ready. So I kind of didn't really get into anything new. I don't know. I still read manga every day. That's like, that hasn't stopped for me. I guess like the thing that I want to, like Aaron said, getting back into, you know, something else too, is like I want to shoot my bow more often this year because I kind of fell off at towards the end of the year where some before, like maybe in October, I was maybe shooting like at least 3 times a week or so. But yeah, so I kind of want to get back to at least that level, if not more.
Can you explain? Because when people think about bow shooting, it's like especially on Kauai, it's mostly just for hunting, right? But that's not what you're into.
I guess so.
Is it like a composite bow? Is it like what kind of
compound? Or
Yeah. It's so even that, it's like I think a lot of people think of traditional archery too, right? Where it's like a wooden bow and that like when the arrows have like feathers on it and stuff. But if you look up like a bow, like it's called Olympic recurve, and it's because it's the type of archery used in the Olympics, and so it's a metal bow, and it looks. There's that meme where it's like what is it for like pistol shooting for the Olympics? There's like people who have like things covering their eyes and their guns look like super teched out. And then there's like a guy who's just like shooting like a pretty simple thing and he doesn't have anything on his face and he's just doing it, right? So it's like the same thing where it's Olympic recurves, like a bow, and then it looks like poles are shooting off of it, like coming off of it. And the reason for that is like they're stabilizers, so they help keep your bow steady. But it's that, it's like pretty nerdy and you can get pretty deep in the weeds where it's like, I got a new, I got a new fiber optic sight for my thing and it's supposed to help me see better. And my arrows are like 0.0 whatever grams and I gotta make sure that they're balanced right and everything. So yeah, there's that whole aspect of it too.
It sounds expensive.
It definitely is, and it's that my uncle had an old bow and arrow and he gave it to me in high school and I used that. It's kind of it was heavy for me to pull, but I used to use that. And then it broke, so I just looked online and I was like, I'll get this cheap beginner bow. And I started using that, and then when I looked more into it, it's like, there's this style of archery called Olympic archery. And it's like, you can do this and this. And, in Olympic archery, they shoot 70 meters away from them. And you're trying to hit a CD target at 70 meters. So that's why you need all the things, because it's like pretty hard to do with any bow, no matter what you're using. Yeah, it gets ridiculous where it's just like, and to that point, like I do have like stabilizers and I have all the stuff, but I started to like kind of strip it back and then go back to, it's a style of archery called like bare bow where it's like you have less stuff on it, and I'm not completely bare bow, but yeah, I'm trying to make it easy. And then it's like, okay, I'm just doing this. I'm not planning on, there's no like official archery thing on Kauai even, I think anyways. So I'm just doing it for fun. So it's like, I'm not trying to compete or anything. So yeah.
Do you measure out 70 meters or do you like what's your distance usually?
No, like I wish I could do longer distances, but I only do it in my backyard. And the longer you do it away, like if you twitch, you can really mess up and miss, right? And so it's like, I do not want to be shooting at my neighbors' houses or whatever. So I usually only do like 10 or 15. And then that's kind of my goal too this year is like maybe get a little bit more comfortable and push it out a little bit far. But yeah, we'll see.
If somebody was getting into it, like what would be the price range for a starter, like for Olympic archery, like a starter set or a starter kind of
Olympic archery,
or just I don't know, like whatever you're kind of into now, like a stripped down bow.
Yeah.
Like what would you be thinking of dropping if you were like, I want to try this at least?
Because you can get like a bow and it's not going to be an Olympic bow, right? Olympic recurve bow.
Yeah.
But you can get a bow for maybe like a pretty decent bow for like $50 or so. And it's like you can
pretty good.
Shoot that and you can practice. It's all about form too. It's like, your form is the most important thing.
Yeah.
In the example that we gave before, it's like I'm the person who went out and bought like a $1,000 ukulele, you know, and I can barely play like chords or I can barely do anything, but I'm like, I love this, I'm gonna do that. So it's like, if you're gonna do archery, you're gonna try it out, it's like you don't need to do that. But Olympic recurves, it's hard to say. You can get, I mean, maybe on the used market you could get maybe for around $100, but I think if you want new things, it's like probably gonna be like $200 to $300 to get something brand new and just like what's considered basic, you know, not getting any of the like stabilizers or the fancy things. So yeah.
That's not too bad though.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Olympic archery student model.
I mean, from $1,000 something to like to $50, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, and I did the stupid thing. I think it's a pretty common mistake that people do in archery where you buy a bow. So the bow itself, like it's a handle and you can buy limbs, and the limbs are, you know, like the long part that you attach the strings to. And I bought limbs that were heavy, like heavier than I could really handle, but I thought like, I can do this, it's not that bad. And then doing that is like my arms got tired and I would shoot less and stuff. So I think like a few years ago I was like, I just gotta buy lighter limbs, I just gotta buy like a lighter pull so it's not as hard to pull back on the string. And doing that, it's like, I think it's like not as impressive, you know, like some of the people who compete in the Olympics, they use like maybe 40-pound limbs.
Oh, geez.
And I'm using, I think, 28 pounds. So I was using like 36 or something before. But like, yeah, I kind of reevaluate myself again, and it's been like, I'm not trying to shoot the Olympics. Like, why am I shooting this heavy ass bow?
Yeah.
Like, I should just get something that I can actually pull back and I can shoot out 100 arrows instead of is like I do 30 and I'm like, oh my gosh, and my arms are so tired and I'm exhausted, you know?
Yeah.
So
you would do it less, right?
Yeah, and that I think that's such a common thing that happens for archers or beginner archers, that it's like you see that advice on people where they're like, if at all, go to a shop and ask them to try out stuff to see what you can actually do. But then if you're just gonna buy something that is like even underweight. Don't buy something that is like, don't overestimate yourself and buy something that's overweight for you, you know? Think like, oh, I can pull this back, it's fine, you know? It's not that you can't, but it's like, if you're not gonna be shooting as much arrows, is it really worth it, right? It's like, yeah.
Yeah, you want to get more time in, especially when you're learning, right?
Yeah. That's like the same thing with like ukulele, right? Is like people buy like an ukulele that might have a higher action, or an instrument that might have a higher action, and then they're like, I can do this, it'll be fine. And then they just like enjoy it less because it's like not comfortable for them. So it's like, yeah, kind of I think in any hobby, it's like just try and find something that you know will help you spend the most time with your hobby, right? No matter what it is.
Yeah, I don't think there's like any shame in buying and using like a beginner model or any kind of cheap model, because those things are made in mind of the people who are like or trying them out for the first time, you know, like you don't need to start out with a kanilea or like a kamaka ukulele. Like you can start just learning, because you don't even know if you're gonna like it, you know, like you can just play with like a $50 like Kala Waterman or like a ohana. Like my kids just started playing ukulele, and she's playing on a cheap like ohana ukulele, and she's loving it, and it's good because like you said, the action is good, and it's made for beginners in mind. So there's I think people just don't want to be seen with a beginner uke, but they're great, man. They're like I said, they're made with those people in mind.
Yeah, and I think getting something where it's like you're less afraid of it getting damaged, but you're gonna play it more, that's a better investment than getting something that it's like, this is super nice, but then yeah, I'm always gonna keep it in my case and I'm never gonna take it out,
Yeah.
you know, or I'm never gonna use it.
Yeah.
I don't want to even touch it because it's so valuable.
Or it's like, oh, if I'm using it, it has to be for really special occasions. Like I'm doing this. It's like, then I don't know. I feel like the barrier to entry to even start or use it is like there's a higher barrier. So it's like makes me less likely to actually get out and do something.
All right, pretty good, Kahai. I mean, like, you know, I like that you're getting back into some stuff, man, and I like how we're all getting back into some stuff. It's so New Year's doesn't necessarily have to mean new things, you know. You just rediscover also, you know.
Yeah. Maybe in a few months we can revisit this and see how it's going, right?
Yeah, like I hate manga now.
Yeah.
I did that for 2 weeks and then I'm done.
Dragon Ball's not as good as I thought it was. On my 20th read, I hated it.
Is it like you're gonna get to Z and then be like, oh gosh, why? It's like, put this down.
See, that's why I didn't get Z. I only have Dragon Ball. So, for me, Dragon Ball ends when Piccolo gets defeated, and then that's it. And then there's no such thing as Super Saiyans, no such thing as Saiyans in general. you
That's
know, like
crazy.
because that stuff doesn't get introduced until Z. So it's just Goku and his friends when they're in their follies. You know, it's awesome. It's awesome. Love Dragon Ball.
That's like whenever I watch the movie Selena.
Oh no.
It's like the flower falls and it's like, oh, that was a great movie. It's like, turn it off.
I remember you saying like you never watched like The Office past like the leaving of Michael Scott.
Yeah. That was a great series.
Once Michael Scott left, it's like, yeah, that's it. It's done. It's done.
Yeah.
I've heard of people, right? Like, because we know movies used to. I mean, if we're really taking it back, there's like movies on VHS, and if movies were long enough, they could be on multiple VHS.
Yeah.
I think like Titanic was like one of those movies, and I've heard of people who.
I actually have, for some reason, I have a VHS copy of Titanic, which is a double cassette.
Yeah.
And it has the Blockbuster sticker still on it.
Nice.
I've heard of people who talk about stuff and they're like, I didn't understand why so many people like Titanic because I only watched the first tape of Titanic, and I was like, that is what is going on. This movie sucks, you know. And then they're like, I only realized that there's like an hour or 2 hours more after that even. So
What, the boat sinks?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Spoilers.
It's just some guy who gets on a boat and then like just draws pictures and then that's it. And then this like rich lady cheats on her husband and like
happily ever after, nothing
happily
happens.
ever
Right?
after. They dance in the where on the bottom of the ship. It's great.
They showed her like at the beginning, and she's old, so she must she's doing fine. I'm sure he's doing fine too. It's all great. Yeah. Some things you really just gotta tell yourself, right? Like, okay, in my head and my heart, that is where it ends. It doesn't continue after that. There's no additional material.
So I was thinking that like in every episode so far that we've done of this podcast, we've talked a little bit about ukulele, right? Like we've mentioned ukulele at least like a few times per episode. So could we technically count this as a as partially an ukulele podcast that we could possibly enter the
Win.
Ukies and win the Ukies again? Kahai, you think?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like if people nominate us for the Ukies for this podcast again, it's like if I was Anarchy in the UK, I would be like, okay, we don't want to say it, but you guys are disqualified, but we'll give you a lifetime achievement award, so we don't have to keep giving you guys awards, right?
Yeah.
It's like, just take this, and then it's like, okay, that's it, you know?
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Well, that's the thing too, is that the Ukulele Underground podcast, it officially ended in what, like April or May of 2025. So for the majority of the year, we didn't make any new ones, and it still won 2025's best ukulele podcast of the year. So,
but well, we did do it weekly. So I think in comparison to the other podcasts that were like still putting out podcasts,
I guess so.
like I think just
yeah.
in the terms of volume, it would be about the same, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. But even James, I think James mentioned to me that he stopped doing new episodes of his podcast too. And was he on it? He was nominated.
I don't know. Honestly, I I dismissed it this year because I'm like, we're not winning that.
We didn't pay attention because
And it's like I think they put a stipulation, right, where it's like you had to be active in 2025. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, like we weren't even active for half the year, so like there's no way we're getting nominated even. And then
should we do one episode of the Ukulele on the Ground podcast so to say that we were active technically in 2026?
do one episode and then make it so that
what I'm thinking is like, can we get James on this podcast? So it's like if this podcast wins the Ukies, it's like we can be like, hey James, you won too. Maybe we'll it's like, yeah, this award is for you.
I mean, technically James Hill was on our other podcast when we won, so yeah, I guess he did. At least he helped us.
And he has won in other areas of life.
Yeah, for sure.
Much more than we have.
But you know where he hasn't. Where it counts, baby.
There's like an actor and he won a award at like one of those award shows. But it was funny because like I think he like dismissed it so much that he was like mid eating when they announced that he won, and he had to like put down the fork and then like go up on stage. But it's like I feel like James is nominated, but I think he's the guy who's like, I'm eating, I'm doing good, I don't care if I win.
But that's the thing, like James, like you said, he's amazing at everything else, you know, like he's won in everything else and stuff. But I'd like to take this win as a win for me, of, you know, because I'm never gonna be as good as James Hill at playing the ukulele, but talking about it, you know, like,
I'm playing most instruments.
so I'm gonna take whatever win I can, Kahai. All right, you guys gotta give me this one, all right?
Yeah,
Because it's like, hey, he might run circles around me in ukulele, but you know what? How many locals has he won on the One Piece trading card game?
yeah.
Because I've won 8, Kahai.
What if it comes out that it's like, because the actor for is it Zoro?
Yeah, mocking you. Oh my god, no, mocking you. The Zoro.
So yeah, Zoro. He won, right? Or he plays the One Piece TCG.
Yeah, yeah, we know, Kahai. He's handsome and he's good at playing the One Piece trading card game. He's got it all.
It's like Henry Cavill, right?
Yeah.
He's like he was the actor for The Witcher. And then it came out that it's like, oh, I read the books, like I love this series. It's like, what? You can't be like handsome and a nerd. That's not what I've been told my whole life.
Yeah, that's what I was telling my wife, because I remember talking about that with her. I'm like, oh, fine, so I guess he's good looking and he's good at the games that I'm good at. Because he was what, like 8th, like top 8 or something in a regional, like a Tokyo regional or national even, or some kind of big tournament in Japan, where like the competition is extremely high. So,
and I think they said that
good on you, I guess.
I think they said that he lost to, was it 2nd and 3rd or something? So it's like the people he lost to are obviously like the best in, if not like Japan, you know, like they're some of the top contenders in the world.
Yeah, did you see his deck? It's like, it's alted out. That deck has got to be at least like 10-15 grand.
Yeah,
and then,
that's what they said.
And he has a playmat that Oda signed and drew a picture of Zoro on. That guy's just flexing on all of us, you know, like I get chicks and championships.
I'm pretty sure, how much people do you think he played against who like they didn't even know who he was, but then they looked at his playmat and they're like, "How the hell do you have an Oda signed playmat? Like, what the hell is going on?"
He's like, just play the game.
Yeah, it's like, oh, don't worry.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just play a game.
Yeah,
Play
yeah.
a game.
It's like, what the hell are these cards?
Yeah.
You're busting out all the expensive ass cards. What the hell's going on?
Yeah, dude, like those are from like the devil packs, you know, like, and he has like a set of 4 of them.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's pretty pricey. When those cards came out, it was like $5,000 a card, and he has it's like the 5 elders, and he has 4 of them of each of the five elders.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think I read too that it's like he in between like shooting the show or like training for the show or whatever, he was playing against Oda's assistants too or something like that, like training up against it. Like,
and with Oda himself.
oh my
He would
god,
go to Oda's house and play.
that
He just has everything. He has the looks and the card skills. So I was telling my wife, why don't you just marry him already? He's just a better me. Bet he plays uke too.
How many locals did you say you won?
I won 8, sir, because I have 8 winner cards
Yeah.
that's on display.
So it's like we get James on, and then it's like, oh, what hobby do you want to talk about, James? And he's like, well, I have 9 winner cards. It's like, no, don't take this from me. Come on.
He has a winner card from regionals.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, what? I have a participation
James
card.
James is like, I don't know if you know about it. It's kind of like an obscure game, but I'm kind of into this. Kind of really into this.
We're doing like only audio so far, right, for the podcast, but then it's like James turns on his camera and you see all the volumes of One Piece behind him and his winner cards or something. It's like,
He's got a signed Oda playmat.
damn it.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm actually on one of the fan teams that translates for the manga.
There it is. Full circle. See, that's good. Good job. Good job, Aaron. Good job. Tying it all up in a nice, neat little bow. Well, Happy New Year's, you guys. Happy New Year's to all the all our audience, all 5 of you, maybe. I don't know. How many people listening to us right now? Kahai, 5 million, you think?
Yeah. We'll see.
Close. We're close. We're getting there. I think we got Mr. Beast numbers, right?
Yeah.
Listener-wise.
Oh, I'm
Nah,
sorry.
we-
I'm sorry. I thought you said Mr. Yeast. Yeah, we have Mr. Yeast numbers. Yeah.
Nah, I don't know, man. I guess pretty good.
Yeah.
He makes bread.
Yeah.
Anyway, Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's to all our Happy New Year's to you guys. You know, and let's make 2026 a pretty good one. Pretty good, full of mangas and exercising and recursive bows and Olympic bows.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should for people listening, should they also put in if they're jumping into new hobbies or what?
Oh, of course.
What are their maybe hobby? What is it? New Year goals, or if they're getting back into something? So
Yeah. It might not be New Year's by the time you guys hear this, but we'd still like to know.
Yeah.
And maybe by the point that you guys hear this, you'll let us know if you did start a new hobby in New Year's and if you've kept it. Like by the time that you hear this, so, and then we'll check back in and see if you're still shooting your bow or if I'm still reading manga and putting pedals together.
Or how many Oda signed playmats do you guys have?
Guys, it is past our time in the pastime paradise. We'll see you folks next time. Have a good one. Take care and live it up. Shoots.
Bye.